Just to introduce myself, my name is Rob Cullen. I work on the membership team with Dublin Chamber. Dublin Chamber, if you don't know, I'm not going to go into a big sales pitch about the Chamber. It's obviously a membership organisation that helps businesses grow throughout Dublin. So we have about 1,300 members, and they range from sole traders all the way up to your multinationals, your semi-state bodies, law firms, accounting firms. Everyone and anybody that you can think of is generally in the Chamber. And it's all about helping your business succeed in a successful Dublin. But this morning's presentation that I'm going to do is because we run about 110 events throughout the year. A lot of our events are on networking, so networking before a speaker, networking afterwards. But a lot of people that are in membership and are coming along to the events do have a fear of networking. So I'm here to obviously try and debunk that fear and help people network a little bit better as much as we can. So these are just the 7 sort of tips of networking that we have and present. We present to different companies all the time. We present to colleges. I do a course in Griffith College on this as well. So it's just to get people to understand that networking is a skill, but it's something that can be learned, and it's easy enough once you keep practicing it and once you do it right. There's an old phrase that's going around saying it's not what you know, it's who you know. But in networking terms, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So the more you network, the more you get people to know you, the better it is for you. So rule number 1, or tip number 1, preparation. If you're coming to a networking event, try and prepare beforehand. You might think, oh, what does that really mean? But have a look at it. If you're coming along to say an event like this morning, who are the other exhibitors? Who's exhibiting at it? Can I connect with anyone beforehand? Can I say, oh, there's Stephen from Print Room is exhibiting at the event. Can I connect with him beforehand and maybe say, hi Stephen, I'm attending the Biz Expo on Thursday, I might meet you there. So it's just that little bit of preparation beforehand. Try and connect with people as much as you can. I know for the Chamber events, we would tend to send an attendee list so people can see beforehand who's going. The idea of that is then mark a few people that are on the attendee list that you'd like to be introduced to. Networking is all about getting introductions and growing your network, and we're then there to help you introduce. There's a LinkedIn tool that's available now. I don't know whether anybody uses it. Has everybody got LinkedIn on their phone? Yeah. Is anybody aware of the Find Nearby tool that's on LinkedIn? So if you have LinkedIn on your phone, just if you wanted to take out your phone, I know generally we don't take out phones during presentations. It's a good little tool that you have, and we've brought it in for Chamber events just so people can connect with everybody that's in the room. It's GDPR friendly, so as soon as you leave the room, it switches off, but it's only when you're there. So if you got LinkedIn on your phone, hit the people side of it, and at the top, in the middle, it has Find Nearby. So if you hear Find Nearby, I'm online there now, so you can see who else is in the room that's nearby, and you can connect with them there. So yeah, and then you can just connect with people that are in the room. So it's a good way just to connect with people. Personally, when I'm using LinkedIn, I prefer to connect with people and add that little note, the little add note that you can say, saying I met you at such and such an event, and would like to connect. But it's a good tool that LinkedIn have. Meet new people. So rule number 2, when you're coming to a networking event, try and meet new people. Everybody does the same thing when they go to a networking event. They go along and they try and look for people that they know, and they stay with those people for an hour or 30 minutes or wherever the networking event is, and they don't really engage with anybody new. Then they leave the event and they think, oh yeah, sure, I met Brian that I play football with, and that was it. But you need to get out there and meet new people. Just one presentation or one sort of idea I give people is to watch out for open groups and closed groups when you're going into a networking event. And if I can, I know is there even 6 people here? If I can get just 6 people just to stand up here just for a second, and I will show them. And there, you may as well come up if you're close. Brian, you'll come up by as well. Anybody that's close, will you come up here with the glasses? And I just want to show you the difference just between an open group and a closed group, and just to watch out for, because this is the one thing people do get wrong. When they go to an event, they think, who am I going to talk to? How am I going to talk to them? How do I approach them? So the one thing to watch out for is just need one more person. If you can come up, yeah. Good morning, Natasha. How are you? Problem I have when I go to networking events is I just know everybody. It can be dangerous sometimes. So Dean, if we can get you to stand here on your own, we get the 2 ladies to stand face to face. So networking very closely, not too closely. And and the 3 of you guys here. Okay, so use a network. So if we're coming into a networking room, so you're walking in, generally as somebody that's networking all the time, I would go to the guy that's on his own, because he's the guy that's here and he's over here, you know, at the drinks coffee machine, just going to drink coffee, just going to stand there on his own. He's waiting for somebody to come over to him, but a lot of people won't go over to him because he's on his own. But he could be the best guy you speak to on the day. So don't always try and avoid the person on their own. He's crying out for somebody to speak to. Look at him. Look. He wants somebody to come over to speak to him. He's really looking for somebody, but most people will avoid him because he's that loner on his own. One group that you don't go into ever is the 2 guys or the 2 ladies here. So these are speaking in a closed group, could be about to do a deal, arrange a meeting, whatever it is they're talking about, and the last thing they need is somebody like me stepping in saying, "Hi, I'm Rob, Dublin Chamber, nice to meet you." They could be just in the middle of doing something, so just watch for that closed group all the time. And a closed group can be a group of 3, 2, whatever. If it's closed like that, again, the last thing they need is me stepping in. So if this group is open, and I'm coming to the open group, personally, as I say, I would go to Dean and say, "Dean, nice to meet you, I'm Rob, Dublin Chamber." So I would go to that, but always go to the open group. And just all you have to say is the 4 words, "Can I join you?" Most people say no. Yeah, most people say it. There's always one that says no. And when you get into the group, just a short tip on when you do get into that open group is you could come in like this and close it up. But the best thing to do is actually just come in closer to this guy here, whose name is... That's what I thought. Yeah. And keep it open. So if you can keep that group open, you can get more people in. So we see Peter coming in the room. "Peter, come on in and join." So you get more people into that group, and the more you can get into that group, the better for everybody. See the way people just do what I tell them. See, then Peter's in it and he's open. Then we got Dean on his own here. Dean, you want to come in here and join us? So now we've got a big group, and this is the best networking group that we're going to be in here. So the girls are happy enough they're on their own there, and then we've got a group of 6 people here that are networking together. So this was 3, now it's 6. Just because we've kept it open. So just watch for the open groups, closed group, avoiding the closed group. Don't always avoid the guy in his own, and just ask, "Can you join the open group there?" So thanks very much. I'll get you to sit down for a second. Does everybody get what I was saying in that just the open groups, closed group? Because it is that sort of tricky moment of where do you go, who do you speak to. But the idea is that you're meeting new people. So if you're coming along, to try and avoid people that you already know. So when you go to an event, I won't, automatically go to the likes of Brian or Glenn or Peter that I already know. I'm going to go to these guys here that I don't know. Can I help them? Can they help me? Try and meet new people all the time. Third tip, the first impression is the most important. You have around 7 seconds to make a good first impression, so make sure you make it count. Make sure you have a good handshake, make sure you're dressed appropriately, make sure you make proper eye contact, and all those things are all going to help when you're making that first impression. If you're dressed inappropriately, the days of shirt and ties and suits and stuff like that are not really here anymore. Depending on what your business is, some people are wearing jeans and t-shirts, some people are wearing shorts, some people are wearing, suits. It doesn't really matter what you're wearing, once you're dressed appropriately for you, your business, and the networking event that you're attending. So making sure that first impression is key. The good handshake is always key as well. I don't know whether anybody's seen Varadkar and Donald Trump yesterday with the handshake. Did anybody see the handshake? They done a real, like a handshake that me and Brian did. They went like that. Done one of those, which is a bit strange for a president and a Taoiseach to do. But watch for the handshake. Like, the last thing you want is a sloppy fish handshake, the powerful handshake where you're putting your hand over. Just that good firm handshake. If I go into Brian and I say, "Brian, nice to meet you, I'm Rob, Dublin Chamber," and I start chilling in his manner, like, that's all he's going to remember. So it's that first impression is key, and make sure you make it a good one. Find a common interest. Again, when you're networking, it's all about building up those relationships, the know, like, trust, buy relationship. Nobody is going to come in anywhere here today or any other networking event that you're at and buy something from you straight away. They have to get to know you, they have to get to like you, they have to get to trust you, and then they will go for the buy option. Or generally at networking events, it's more fair. So finding that common interest. So if I'm talking to guys that I haven't met before, I'm finding out a little bit about them, and that could be anything. You could be talking about the weather, who they're supporting, where they're from, are they playing rugby, are they watching GAA, what are they watching now on Netflix, it doesn't really matter where they're going on holidays, you know, are they watching Love Island? I know Brian is, aren't you, Brian?
Not yet, anyway.
But finding out just that common interest so you can talk to them and build up that relationship. If you go in and say, look, I'm selling stationery, we have the best paper in Dublin, the best pens in Dublin. If you want your business name on that pen, I can do it and nobody else in Dublin can do it better. You've lost the person, they're gone already. But if I'm talking about Liverpool winning the Champions League, once they're not a Man United fan, generally it'll go down well. You've lost it. Or if you're talking about Dublin winning the All-Ireland again, or Ireland are going to win the Rugby World Cup. That right, Glenn? No. No? Glenn's an All Black, so but whatever it is, it's building up that common interest. And people get to know you and they get to like you by doing that. Everybody likes buying things. Nobody likes being sold to. So the last thing you want to do at a networking event is give a big sales pitch straight away. Find a common interest and talk to the person about it. And it's easy enough to follow up the following week. So if I'm bringing Brian next week and say, what do you think of Liverpool winning the Champions League? Was it a poor match, you know, blah, blah, blah. You're talking for about 10 minutes about football before you actually get to the business of things. If I ring Brian and say, Brian, did you get that brochure I sent you? What about the flyers that I sent over? Did you get the price list that you're going to buy for me? How much do I put an order in for you? Again, Brian's going to be like, actually, just bring me back. And again, you've lost the sale. So it's making sure you're talking to them and you have something to talk to them about. And as I said, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be sport, it doesn't have to be kids, weather, you know, holidays, whatever. Anything that you can find that common interest in. Again, does that make sense? And again, it's all about those relationships. It's all about building up that know, like, trust, buy. It's finding people that you can connect with, finding people that are going to do business with you, finding people that you can refer, and it's back to that. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So the more people that know what you do, yes, when you go to a networking event, you have to do the sales pitch at some stage, but generally it's about building up those relationships and getting as many people knowing what you do and they can refer you. At the Chamber, I know a lot of business that's done through the Chamber is done through referrals. A lot of people that come in that are selling a product or service, the people in the room might need that or want it or have a need for it, but you can guarantee they know somebody that does. And when that person knows that Glenn is selling courier sales or selling a courier service, we know that, okay, maybe we won't need it, but if somebody comes to me and says, I'm looking for a good courier, can you recommend one? I'm going to say, yes, of course, Glenn, Pony Express was in last week, here's his card, here's his details. So it's that referring, but I'll only know that if Glenn continuously comes to the Chamber events and then we can refer him. So that works throughout all services and products that you're selling. You're not just chatting with me. So the line on this is basically, I was at a networking event last year and I met a guy who had a facilities management companies. So the whole line of this is not just chatting with me, you're chatting with everyone I know. And people tend to get that wrong in networking, at networking events. What people tend to do is they go over and they say, oh yeah, you're selling stationery, well I have no need for stationery, and they just walk off. But somebody might know somebody that does need stationery. So I was at an event, it was in one of the colleges out in UCD. We had an event out there, and there was a guy came over to me and said, oh, where are you working? I told him where I was working. He said, well, we have a facilities management company. How big is your premises? Do you have any need for it? And I said, no, to be honest with you, we're in a small office in Dublin City Centre. And he said, look, nice to meet you, and off he went. I thought, geez, that was a bit rude. But the short version of the story is, a couple of weeks later we were asked, could we recommend 3 facilities management companies for a big tender that was going out. And if that guy had spoke to me, gave me his card, said, look, if you ever know anybody that does need the service that I'm offering, here's my card. Instead, he totally dismissed the fact that I didn't need it and just walked away. So it's getting people, again, to know you can refer them as well. Always exchange business cards with other people. People ask us as well, when they're exchanging business cards, and go back to that common interest, you know, don't be afraid to write on people's business cards that common interest, what you do, what have you to follow up with them on. Ask permission first, can you write on it, but always write something on the business cards. We have 3 or 4 events every week. We might have 80 people at each event. We're collecting business cards like there's no tomorrow, literally. So I have to write things on the business cards, so when I bring them back to my desk, I know, you know, what I have to do, what I have to follow up, what I have to say, what I have not to say. But always have it on that business card so you know what to follow up on. But just remember that don't dismiss the person just because they don't need your service. He will know or she will know somebody that does need your service, and that's what networking is all about, getting people to know what you do as much as possible. I think we're near the end. I hope it's going to be a few Q&As now. Help, don't sell. We have a big sign in the chamber of a don't sell sign, because so many people get it wrong when they come to networking events. Again, we touched on it with the SME example. People come along to networking events and try and sell. All you're selling at a networking event is, anybody else?
Yourself.
Close, yeah. But the answer that we give is a cup of coffee. You're selling a cup of coffee. Brian, can we meet for a coffee next week? Glenn, can we meet for a coffee next week and see if we can help each other? We might need each other's product or service, but we might know somebody that does. Don't go into any event, any exhibition, anything just trying to sell. Can you sit down with somebody and help them? Can they help you? Can I help you connect? So we're meeting people in the chamber all the time. Can I help you, connect you with companies that you're looking for an intro into? Can we help you do business with somebody that maybe you're not having as much luck doing? Can we help you with somebody that can do web design for you? What are your issues and how can we help you doing that? And that goes for no matter what business or service you're in. If you're in a courier service and you're looking to help somebody that's in a well-being service, you might think there's no connection, but actually, if you sat down with that person and had a coffee, there may be ways that you can help each other, because you have connections, they have connections, and maybe we can work together. Collaboration, they're saying now, is the new competition. Everybody is trying to collaborate with each other. Everybody can help each other in different ways, and that's a huge thing that we're seeing in the chamber now, is everybody is working from a service point of view to a product point of view, helping each other, collaborating with each other. And there's collaborations going on left, right and centre that you wouldn't even think are possible to collaborate. But people are collaborating and they're helping each other, and that's what you have to do when you're networking. The worst thing, again, I mentioned it earlier, people like buying things, nobody likes being sold. Help people as much as you can. And that's all you have to do, and all you're selling is a cup of coffee. If you remember one thing from today, it's all you're selling at any event is a cup of coffee. Exchange business cards. Can we meet next week? No business should be done, at a networking event other than, here's a card, let's meet next week, see if we can help each other. If you're lucky and you get business on the day, I'd love to know what you're doing, because generally people don't do it on the day. Generally people will just dismiss cards that you get, but just try and exchange that one-to-one. It's all about the one-to-one meetings at networking events. What can we do when we go for a coffee afterwards? How can we help each other? So don't try and oversell. Plus, you'll kill a lot of one-to-one coffees if you try and pitch your business straight away. By all means, tell people what you do. People have to know what you do. They have to know what you're selling and what they're selling, so you can exchange. Another trick that we tell people when they're at networking events is listen more. Listen more to what people are saying. Listen to what they're advising you. Listen to what they're pitching to you, and then you can filter through whether actually that guy is worth having a coffee with, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just over. Anybody that's overselling at a networking event, I would say maybe just be wary of meeting up with them for a coffee, even though it kind of contradicts the previous slide that I have of. But if you get that feeling for somebody and all they're trying to do is sell, all they're ever going to try and do is sell, so maybe that will filter through as well. But listen to people as much as you can, and the more you listen, the more people get to like you as well, because they're thinking, oh geez, this guy cares about what I'm actually saying because he's listening so much. Listening is a huge tool in networking. But as much as you can, help them, no selling, please. And I think that probably finishes it off, because if we're at number 7, I'd imagine it's the 7 tips of networking. The one thing I will say as well is, another tip that we have, and we have a longer version of this, is following up. A lot of people go to these type of events and don't follow up. If you collect a business card today, I think they say something, Peter, is it something like 80% of something people don't follow up after exhibitions?
Yeah, 20, less than 20% follow up worldwide.
Yeah. So if you collect a business card today or speak to people today, again, write on the business card. If you say to them, I'm going to send you a price list, I'm going to arrange a meeting with you next week, I'm going to introduce you to whoever next week, make sure you do that. Make sure you follow up whatever you promised to do. There's nothing worse than me saying to Glenn, I'll send you an email next week, and I don't. The next time I send Glenn an email in a month's time, he'll probably ignore it. Does anyway,
It's just you there, Rob.
Yeah. You probably, but if you promise to do something, make sure you do it. If you're going to do that introduction, I can connect you with a guy in KBC Bank. I think he might be of interest to you. Make sure you do that introduction. I think I done one for you last night, Brian, did I?
You did indeed.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
I did actually forget to do it first, but if you promise to do something, make sure you do it. And if you collect business cards today, filter through them, but try and follow up, even if it's a quick message, even if it's lovely to meet you. I'm not sure we can help each other going forward, but if you're ever in Dublin again, we'll meet for a coffee. Be nice about it, be polite about it, but make sure you follow up. And that's the biggest tip again that I can give you today, because expos especially are bad for people following up. So if you can follow up, make sure you follow up with people as well. It's a good tip, and it's one that you should take away from today. Does anybody have any questions? My details are there. Any questions? Peter, I know you're a good man for the questions.
I suppose it's not a question, it's just a point of what you're saying about the selling. And you may have asked this at the start, because I apologise, I was slightly late, but I suppose when I started networking, the biggest thing I learned was, I was in a room like this, it was full of people, and somebody said, put your hands up if you came here in the hope you might sell something today. So go on, if you hope you might sell something today, put your hands up. Okay, well, the place I was in, everybody put their hand up.
Yeah.
The question was
Very
asked,
shy in this room.
who came in today to buy something? And nobody put their hand up. And that was just a huge lesson for me around networking. If nobody else came, if you didn't come to buy something, no one else did.
Yeah.
And just to remember that it's exactly as Rob said, it's about the people.
Yeah. It's back to, like, there's so many quotes and phrases and cliches, people buy from people, and it's the help, don't sell, and again, I think I've said it a couple of times, is everybody likes buying things, nobody likes being sold, and I think that's the point you're making. Who's here to sell something today? Everybody. But all you're selling is that cup of coffee. If you can try and remember that, all you're selling is a cup of coffee. But everybody puts up their hands, as you say, to sell. Who puts up their hand to buy? Not many people want to buy here today, but everybody wants to try and sell a product, a service, themselves, or more importantly, a cup of coffee next week. So I think I'll wrap it up there. There are my details there. We do have a stand over there with fresh fruit, just to show that I am now the picture of health. You're meant to agree with me. Actually, one other thing as well that I touched on at the start, or generally do, is name badges. Now we don't have them today, but we try and get people to wear them here on this side. For when you're shaking hands, you can see somebody's name badge there. I think we were all just given Biz Expo badges today, but try and wear them on that side if you can, because when you're shaking somebody's hand, you tend to turn that way. I'd always wear mine here anyway, because of the style that I carry. I'd always have a pocket hanky, very stylish. Is that right, Peter?
Oh yeah.
But most people would actually, most lads would tend to put them here. Women can put them anywhere depending on their clothing they wear, so you just have to be careful where you're putting them and where you're not putting them. And actually, I know in the chamber as well, a lot of civil servants, a lot of multinationals would tend to put them on their likes of their trousers and stuff like that, because they tend to have this ID where they're going in and out of the building. But like, if you have a name badge down there and your blazer's covering it, nobody can see your name badge. So always have your name badge visible is I suppose the point on that. So I'll wrap it up there. So if anybody has any more questions, or as I say, we're at a stand there. I'd say you have a question at the back.
Thanks, Rob, for the advice. I'd like the way that you were saying about how to join a group. How about leaving a group?
Leaving the group.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have a slide. We did have a slide called the polite exit. So it is one of those things that gets asked an awful lot. And we had our old CEO, I was talking to somebody out there that knew them. I won't mention her name, but obviously a lady, and she used to do this presentation when I started in the chamber 4 years ago. And she was saying she used to always be at like sort of elite CEO dinners. So you should have dinners with the CEO of Bank of Ireland and Vodafone and all these places. And he all sort of got to know each other well. But she said her only way out and her politest way out all the time was, I'm just going to go to the loo, would you like to join me? And that can work for some people, but I'm not sure it works for everyone. It's fine, I'm just going to go to the loo, would you like to join me? It doesn't work, so you have to be careful what you say. But generally, I would say exchange business cards. Everybody, you have to remember, everybody's here for the same reason. Everybody's here to speak to as many people as they can. So nobody's going to think you're rude unless you just walk off, or like that guy that I met out in UCD, totally dismiss But just say, look, can we arrange a coffee next week? Do you have a business card? Maybe we can exchange business cards, or you just see somebody over there actually I'd like to speak to. Or the best one, or the one that I'm trying to do, is trying to introduce them into another group as well. Saying, have you met Brian before? Here's Brian, and then like, you know, but being polite about it, but just saying, look, I'm just going to go over there for a coffee. I wouldn't, as I say, I wouldn't go for the Lou option now, but that was the one that our old CEO used. But yeah, it's that, being polite, but just make sure you're polite. Exchange business cards, grab a coffee, let's meet up next week. But it's that sort of, as I say, that escape clause, but it is one that comes up all the time. But once you're, like, everybody understands, everybody's there for the same reason, and people will understand if you move on. A lot of our networking events, actually, we have speed networking, so we ring a bell every few minutes. It's like, that gives people the sort of get out clause. After 5 minutes, people move on, and they keep moving around, and it gets them to speak to as many people as they can. And the one thing we try and cut out a little bit of is getting everybody to stand up to introduce themselves, because that's sort of a sales pitch, and a lot of people will waffle on in that sales pitch. Unless you say to them, look, say your name and your company name, and that's it, just so you know who's in the room. But the reason why we do the bell and get people to move on, it's sort of doing that one-to-one sort of talking with each other, getting to know each other, getting to like each other, getting to trust each other, and then the buy or refer part. If I'm standing up here just doing a sales pitch on the chamber, and then we got Brian to do one on his company, and we got Brian to do one on his company, and Glenn to, like, after 4 or 5 people are gone, people have lost interest. So you don't get people to pitch. All you're selling is yourself or the cup of coffee the following week, but do it in a one-to-one basis, not in front of the whole room, because that is basically just doing a sales pitch, and networking is not about sales. So I hope that answers your question. But we did, as I say, we did have a slide on the deployed exit, because it is something that comes up, so thanks for asking. But again, it's telling people, like the open groups, the closed groups, and it's not being fearful. Like, everybody is kind of fearful, even doing it for 10 years, you're still kind of fearful of networking. You still have that shyness approaching somebody. You know, if they don't have a name badge, it's hard to approach, but you do get used to it. So it just practice. It's like everything.